All right, so we're diving into the world of food grading today, getting you prepped for that interview. And we're going deep with these role catcher guides. They're really packed with insights. From what the job actually is like day to day, to common interview questions, and even how AI can help you tailor your answers. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, definitely a lot to unpack. Most people think food grading is just like looking at an apple and going, yep, that one's good. But it's so much more than that.
Okay, so let's break it down then. What exactly does a food grader do?
Think quality control expert for the food world. You're inspecting everything. Produce, packaged goods, you name it, making sure it all meets these strict standards. Size, color, texture, and of course, freshness.
Right, so it's not just about looks, though. I'm guessing there's some pretty technical stuff involved, too.
Absolutely. Food graders use all sorts of specialized equipment. Scales, colorimeters, even X-ray machines sometimes, to catch those internal defects you wouldn't see otherwise. It's a real blend of sensory skills and technology.
And this is where I think RoleCatcher comes in. Their AI features are pretty wild. It can actually analyze a job description and pinpoint the exact skills they're looking for. Talk about a cheat sheet for your interview.
It's amazing what AI can do these days, and it's not just keywords. RoleCatcher can help you tailor your answers to specific questions, even give you feedback to make sure you're hitting the right notes.
That's awesome. So let's get into some of those common interview questions. What's the first one someone should be ready for?
Well, one of the most common you'll hear is, can you explain your experience in food grading? Now is your time to shine. Talk about any related work or education you have, even if it's not direct experience Think about those transferable skills. Attention to detail, working in a fast-paced environment, anything that shows you've got what it takes.
So even if you haven't been a food grader before, there are still relevant things you can highlight. I like that. What kind of follow-up questions might come after that?
They might dig deeper into specifics, like, tell me about a time you had to make a tough call about the quality of a product. Or, how have you stayed up to date on food safety regulations? Things like that. Showing you're knowledgeable and committed.
Right, not just there to do the bare minimum, you're invested in food safety.
Exactly. Another one you'll probably get is, how do you ensure the quality of the food being graded? Here's where you really get to showcase your methods. Are you great at visual inspections? Do you have experience using testing equipment? It's all about demonstrating that commitment to high standards.
And I'm guessing this is another spot where RoleCatcher can really fine-tune your answers.
You bet. Let's say the job description emphasizes using certain grading equipment. RoleCatcher can help you highlight any experience you have with those tools, so your answer aligns perfectly with what they're looking for.
Okay, that's super helpful. Let's keep rolling with these questions. What else should people be prepared for?
We'll be ready for something like, how do you handle a situation where the quality of the food does not meet the standards? It's a chance to show off those problem-solving skills. Explain your process clearly and calmly. And highlight any relevant experience you have.
So it's not just about saying, oh no, bad food. It's about showing you can handle these situations responsibly and effectively.
Exactly. You want to show you're proactive, you follow procedures, you're not afraid to take action when needed.
This is all fantastic advice.
Right.
We're going to take a quick break and then come back with even more interview questions and tips, all right?
Sounds good. I'm excited to dive deeper into how you can really use RoleCatcher's AI to knock those answers out of the park. Okay, so, we were talking about food safety earlier and how important that is in this industry. How can someone really showcase their knowledge in that area during the interview?
Yeah, that's crucial, right? Interviewers want to know you're not just knowledgeable, but also passionate about maintaining those high standards. What kind of question could they ask to gauge that?
Well, you might hear something like, can you explain your understanding of food safety regulations and standards? That's your time to shine. Mention your familiarity with key regulations like the FDA Food Code and, of course, HACCP. The hazard analysis and critical control point system. Show them you get it. That it's all about preventing hazards throughout the whole food production process.
Right. It's not just about knowing the rules. It's about how they actually apply in the real world.
Exactly. And here's where RoleCatcher can really give you an edge. Let's say the job description mentions a specific certification, like a food safety manager certification. RoleCatcher's AI can highlight any relevant qualifications you have, or even suggest courses you could take to boost your credentials.
Okay, so it's not just about prepping for the interview. It's about potentially leveling up your skills based on what the job needs. That's really cool. Now, what about those behavioral questions, the ones that really try to get a sense of your personality, how you handle tough situations?
Oh yeah, those are always interesting. A classic one is, describe a challenging situation you faced in a previous role and how you handled it. The key here is to choose a situation that highlights relevant skills for a food grader. Maybe you had a difficult customer, or you had to make a quick decision under pressure, something like that.
So it's about showcasing those skills, right? Problem solving, communication, staying calm under stress. What kind of follow-up questions might come after that initial story?
Well, they might dig deeper into your thought process. Ask things like, what did you learn from that experience? Or,
Mm,
looking back, would you have done anything differently? It's about showing that you're reflective. You can learn and grow from your experiences.
those are some insightful questions.
Yeah.
Sounds like preparation is key for these behavioral ones.
Absolutely. And that's another area where RoleCatcher can be a game changer. The AI can actually help you practice your answers, identify areas for improvement, even suggest ways to make your stories more compelling and relevant to the job.
Wow, so it's like having a personal interview coach.
Exactly. Now, shifting gears a bit. Efficiency is obviously crucial in any food production environment. How can someone show they understand that during the interview?
Time is money. Especially in a fast-paced industry like this, what kind of questions should they be ready for?
They might ask something like, how do you ensure that food grading is done efficiently without sacrificing quality? It's all about balance, right? You want to highlight your organizational skills, your ability to work quickly and accurately. Maybe you've used time-saving techniques in the past, or you're good at prioritizing tasks strategically.
That classic speed and precision combo. Having some concrete examples ready to go would really impress them, I bet.
Definitely. And if the job description mentions specific software or technology, like to streamline the grading process, RoleCatcher can help tailor your answer to showcase your experience in those areas.
Okay, so really making sure your answers are hitting those key points they're looking for. Brilliant. Now, what about situations where there might be a disagreement, like about the grade of a product?
Yeah.
How do you navigate those tricky conversations professionally?
That's a great question. Because disagreements do happen, and interviewers want to see that you can handle them well, diplomatically and constructively. They might ask, tell me about a time you disagreed with a colleague about a grading decision. How did you resolve the situation? Something like that.
So it's not about being right or wrong. It's about how you approach the situation and finding a solution that keeps quality as the top priority
Yeah.
and also maintaining a positive working relationship.
Exactly. You want to highlight those communication and collaboration skills. Explain that you'd start by trying to understand the other person's perspective. Then present your own evaluation calmly and respectfully. And if needed, consult a supervisor or establish guidelines to make sure you reach a fair decision.
Right, working together as a team to ensure those standards are met.
Precisely. Now let's talk about one more essential aspect of being a food grader, the tools of the trade.
Right. All that specialized equipment,
Mm.
the scales, the colorimeters you mentioned earlier. What kind of questions should someone expect about those?
Be ready for something like, can you describe your experience using grading scales and equipment? This is where you can really show off your technical knowledge. Talk about the specific tools you've used, how you ensure their accuracy, any relevant training or certifications you have.
So really emphasizing that hands-on experience, showing you're
Yes.
comfortable working with those tools.
Exactly. And you guessed it, RoleCatcher can help here too. If the job description mentions using digital scales or a specific type of colorimeter, RoleCatcher can make sure your answer highlights any experience you have with those exact tools.
Okay, so you're walking into that interview fully prepared, knowing exactly what they're looking for. This is incredible. I feel like I could ace a food grader interview myself after all this.
Me too. And remember, confidence is key. The more prepared you are, the more relaxed and confident you'll be.
All right, so as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of food grading and acing that interview, any final words of wisdom you want to leave our listeners with?
I think one of the most important things is to really show your enthusiasm. Interviewers can spot a canned response from a mile away. So let your passion for food and your commitment to quality really shine through.
Yeah, that's so true. It's not just about listing off facts and figures. It's about showing your personality and your excitement for the work.
Exactly. And remember, the food industry is always evolving. New technologies are popping up all the time, so showing that you're willing to learn and adapt is key.
Speaking of new technologies, we've talked a lot about how RoleCatcher's AI can help you prepare for that interview. Can you give us one final example of how it all works?
Sure. Let's say the job description mentions a specific software program. Something they use for quality control. RoleCatcher can analyze your skills and experience, and then highlight any relevant knowledge you have in that area. It can even suggest online courses or training programs to boost your credentials if needed.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like having a personal career advisor right there with you.
Exactly. And don't forget, practice makes perfect. Use RoleCatcher to rehearse your answers, fine-tune your delivery, and build up that confidence. That'll really impress the interviewer.
So to everyone out there getting ready for that food grader interview, what's the big takeaway here?
You're not just walking into that interview, you're walking in prepared. You've got a deep understanding of the role. You can answer those tough questions with confidence, and you've got the power of AI on your side.
I love it. And beyond the interview itself, remember that a career in food grading, it's a chance to play a vital role in ensuring the quality and safety of the food we all eat.
It really is. It's a career that combines technical expertise with a love of food, and you get to make a real difference.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, I hope this deep dive has been helpful and inspiring for everyone listening. Best of luck with those interviews.
Good luck out there. You've got this.